Hi friends, it's the Evolving Guys here, and welcome back to the channel. This is Wildcard Wednesday. It's our first one, and these are the days when I'm just going to kind of post videos that are interesting to me, or just updates, or just kind of whatever is on my mind these days. And so today's video is talking about this rise of prices of Sword and Shield era alt art cards. I talked about this a few weeks ago, and it's been my most viewed video, so there's an indication that you all are interested in this topic. And so I just am giving, in a sense, kind of a monthly update. So I showed you last time that I actually keep track of, this is old school, just on paper. So you see prices updated on May 3rd, and this is a list of all the cards that I need to finish the Sword and Shield era master sets. So you can see I do it by set. I write down when I have a set complete. And then for sets that I don't have complete, I make a note of what are the cards that I need. And so this is my list from the beginning of May. And I crossed off all the cards that I picked up in the month of May. Now I did create the new sheet, then I update it every month. So I just delete the cards that I've collected and reduce my list. I like when the list gets shorter. And I'll talk in a second about what things look like going into June, now that we're in the early stages of June. But I think I showed you last month that the price, so I was missing 45 cards at the beginning of May to complete all the master sets from Sword and Shield. The cost of those 45 cards would be over $6,000, and that was an increase of $1,500 just since the beginning of April. So during the month of April, the same set of cards, those 45 cards, increased in value. And this is the story that we all know, right? The alt arts are going nuts. And you can see like some of the lists, like Giratina Alt Art went up $110 during the month. Some of these other cards, like, even Evolving Skies, we know here, right? I mean, just like crazy increases, right? $235, Umbreon VMAX, Rayquaza VMAX, $112. So these are all the increases in prices. And so the question is, like, how do we manage this, right? I mean, do we chase after these cards? Do we have FOMO where we're trying to pick up these cards? And I mean, for me, I think I took a different tack. So part of this video is to talk about what I've been doing in my collection, and the tacks. I've sort of adjusted my approach in the light of these really crazy alt art prices. So the first thing I did, and the first thing I've been doing, is I'm trying to pick up the non-alt art cards that I still need. So there still are some non-alt art cards that I need. So like the Caitlyn full art, we've got up here the Charizard Vivid Voltage promo card. And actually, the promo cards really aren't going, the Sword and Shield promos really aren't moving around a lot. In fact, they're going down. Like the Special Delivery Pikachu and Bidoof cards actually went down. So that's one thing, is to look for those kind of opportunities where there's cards that aren't going crazy. And there are some of those opportunities. Alt arts are definitely getting a lot of attention, but then that means for me, I'm going to look at some of the other subsets. So rainbow cards don't seem to be going crazy in general. Full art cards, some of these other niches of cards. And I have most of the cards besides the alt arts in these sets, but not exclusively. And so one thing I did this month is I went through and I tried to find the low-hanging fruit. Like, what are some cards that are relatively affordable and that still haven't gone crazy? So like the Mew VMAX Rainbow, the Sylveon VMAX Rainbow, the Charizard V-Star Rainbow, a little more expensive as a base card, but it's not going up. It only went up $5 during the month instead of like some of these crazy increases. So that was my first approach, and I'll show the cards in a second that I picked up. There's the Lugia V-Star Rainbow card. So these are cards that I picked up, the Mewtwo V-Star. So non-alt art cards that I picked up. But my other approach was to pick up some of the alt art cards that just were undervalued or maybe overlooked. So for example, the Noivern V alt art, which is a really cool looking card, it was hovering around $30 for a really long time, and so I was able to pick that up. And also some other cards like the Machamp V. I mean, it's gone up a lot, but I did see it at a card show, and I'll show you in a second. I decided to pull the trigger, and I'm glad I did, because the card has only continued to increase since I purchased it. So it's a little bit of a bummer that I did not pick it up at the bottom of the market, but in some ways I feel good that I got it, and it's just continued to go up, that I got it where I did. Same with the Arceus V-Star Gold card, which I'll show you in a second. So that's my other approach, is to find the alt art cards that might be overlooked or undervalued. They're hard to find, of course. And I showed you on my last video, I did pick up the last 2 Battle Styles cards. I picked up the Tyranitar V in lightly played condition, and so that saved me a little bit of money. And that card has only continued to increase, so even though I didn't get a near mint copy, I'm sort of glad I did that when I did too. So that has been one of my approaches. The other approach that I've had is to focus on Scarlet and Violet. So this is my Scarlet and Violet list. You know, it's a not as many sets, of course. I have the base set complete. I did pick up one of the Iono cards for Paldea Evolved. Some of these I'm going to still try to pull because I haven't opened a lot of packs of Scarlet and Violet 151, for example, or Paradox Rift. So I'm starting to build up a collection of packs that we're going to open on the channel. Paldean Fates is kind of a long haul because there's just so many cards in that set. So I'm doing pretty well, but haven't really opened a lot of that, and I'm not focusing on it too much right now. But I am on the channel probably going to focus on opening more Scarlet and Violet packs. And we did finish Temporal Forces as part of the Master Set Challenge. We actually ended up 3 cards short, but I just went ahead and bought the remaining cards. I wanted to grab those while they're still relatively affordable, kind of in some fear of eventually some of these Scarlet and Violet special illustration rares might go a little crazy. So that's my other strategy, is to focus on Scarlet and Violet and try to get the cards now when they're relatively available and relatively affordable. We don't know what's going to happen to them down the road, if they're going to have the same kind of crazy increases that Sword and Shield is having now. But you know, I think it makes some sense to buy at a relatively low point for Scarlet and Violet rather than wait until things go crazy. And that might be a couple years down the road, but now is a good time. And you can see, even with putting a lot of energy and attention to Scarlet and Violet, it's still, there's just a ton of cards, and the sets keep coming after us. We just had Twilight Masquerade release. We've got Shrouded Fable just a couple months away. So, and you know, these huge sets like Paldean Fates are still hanging out there. So it's not going to be easy to collect all of them, but now is probably a better time to just focus on Scarlet and Violet. And I'm just going to sort of hold my breath with Sword and Shield. There might be a few more cards that are kind of on my list that I might go after. And I track the prices pretty closely to try to see if there's anything that, again, any market inefficiencies, so to speak. Just, are there any alt art cards that are hanging back? You know, with Chilling Reign and Evolving Skies, they're just going to be hard to complete because the cost, you know, again, as you can see here, well, actually, that's a good segue to move over to. So I updated my list for June, which is exciting. So I was able to get rid of all the cards, cross off the list, so to speak, all the cards that I picked up during the month. And so I'll show you those cards in a second. But you can see here, again, the promo cards are actually going down slightly in value. So that's maybe a market opportunity. Champion's Path, although surprisingly, I just need the 2 Charizards. Wouldn't to say just, both those cards are expensive, but they're actually going down. The Charizard V Full Art is down $15. So there's a case of, you know, some cards that are actually going down in value. So this might be an opportunity to focus, if you're going to spend money on cards, to focus on some of these cards that are holding steady or going down. Unfortunately, the Chilling Reigns that I need still went up by $200 total. The Blaziken just continues to go out of control. Evolving Skies has slowed down a little bit, but still the cost for me to finish the set with the 11 cards I need remaining would still be, has gone up $351 and would be about $3,000, which is a lot of money. Fusion Strike also, you know, going up a lot. You can see not quite as like dramatically, but we're seeing, you know, over $20 increases in those cards, a total of over $100 increase. So now it would be almost $800 to complete Fusion Strike, and that's only 4 cards. Of course, driven largely by Gengar VMAX being almost $400. I'm down to just needing 1 card for Brilliant Stars. It is the Charizard V. I remember when this card was under $100, and now it's almost $200, so that's kind of a bit of a bummer that I didn't pick it up at the time. But again, none of us have unlimited resources, so we have to make decisions, and we're not going to be able to pick up everything at optimal times. And that's just a card that, you know, you still can find some Brilliant Stars, but it's not like I'm opening a lot of Brilliant Stars. So I don't know if that might just be a card that I don't get for some time, or maybe someday if I come into lots of money or something like that. Lost Origin, I still need 3 cards. The Rotom V would be pretty affordable. Again, I remember not too long ago when this was under $30, so that would have been a better time, but it's still under $50. So if I really wanted to maybe pick something up, it's not growing quite as crazily. It's only gone up $6 in the last month. The Aerodactyl V, again, I remember when this was under $100, now it's $140, and it went up $20 in the last month. And again, I don't know if I'll pick that up. The Giratina V, again, continues. Some of these high-profile alt arts are going really crazy. All I need is Lugia V. I'm still probably going to continue to open some Silver Tempest. I mean, for $212, you can get like quite a few packs of Silver Tempest. I know it doesn't make sense really to chase a single card by opening packs, but over $200 on a single card is a pretty high price to pay as well. And all I need now is the Giratina V-Star Gold for Crown Zenith, so we'll see. That one has gone up a lot. So I'm really excited that actually I picked up 12 cards that I needed from Sword and Shield over the course of May. So I only need 33 cards. The bad news is that those 33 cards cost $6,500, and that's an increase of $300, keeping in mind that I needed, I reduced my number of cards needed by 12, and the cost still went up by $300, which just shows how crazy the price increases are. So we'll see how much attention I give to Sword and Shield in the coming. I think I've really gotten most of the low-hanging fruit. So with that, without any further ado, we'll talk through what I picked up. So I did pick up the Vivid Voltage. It's not the staff promo. That one's much more expensive, but I picked up the Vivid Voltage promo card. So I'm only missing 2 promo cards now. The Special Delivery Bidoof and the Special Delivery Pikachu. I picked up the Caitlyn again, trying to pivot away from the alt arts and pick up some of the full art trainers and rainbow cards that I need. So there's the Caitlyn. That's from Chilling Reign. So one of the ones I needed, with relatively affordable, I guess, if you consider the prices of some of the other things. And then some of the rainbow rare cards, the Mew VMAX from Fusion Strike, I still needed, again, relatively affordable. The Charizard VMAX a little more expensive, but again, the price on this has been stable, so I felt good grabbing it now. I assume the prices aren't going to go down on it, and I think I'm getting, at least a decent value. I'm not chasing the value of the alt arts. And then the Lugia V-Star I needed for Silver Tempest. So there's a few of the pickups, and then I went to a card show a few weeks ago, and I've been eager to share my finds at this card show. And it shows, again, how quickly the market is changing. So the Noivern V I did get for $25. This one is already up to $45. So I got it, just a few weeks ago, and it's already gone up by $20 from that price point. So I feel good about that. The Sylveon V I got for $25. This card is now $50. So while some rainbow rares are staying steady, some other rainbow rares are still, going a little bit crazy. So this feels good. I got it for basically half of what it's going for now. The big pickup, I really debated this at the time. I wasn't sure if I would want to go for this or not. This is such a cool card, and it's gone up a lot. I did pay this $130 for it. It looks in really good shape. I took a look at it out of the sleeve. I think the centering looks good. The condition looks really good. So to find a pack fresh and near mint copy of this, I think most people who probably pulled this, get it graded. And so, to find something like this is pretty cool. And again, I got it for $130. I remember when it was $70 or $80, which, if you've been collecting, you kind of know, it feels it stinks to have to pay $130 for a card that used to be much cheaper. But now this card is $180. So I guess, glass half full or glass half empty. I got it at $130 when now it's up to $180. It might come back down. Who knows? But it was also the last card I needed for Astral Radiance, so it feels good to complete that set and just to know that that set is done. And then the last card I picked up is this Arceus V-Star Gold. We pulled 2 of the gold cards, the Palkia and Dialga cards. Never pulled the Arceus or the Giratina. Not opening a lot of Crown Zenith these days, and so I figured it was worth it. And again, it got this card for $50 a few weeks ago. Right now, its market price on TCG Player is $100. So it's kind of crazy. Again, this card was never a ton lower than this, so I felt really good about this price point and the fact that it's doubled in price in just the last few weeks. I don't expect it probably to stay there, but I feel really good about picking this card up. So there you have it. There is what I picked up. It's not everything I picked up. In my other video, I showed you the battle style stuff I picked up and a few other things. But again, this is all stuff added to the collection. We've reduced what we need for Sword and Shield by 12 cards. And so 33 cards left to complete the Sword and Shield Master sets. I don't know if that's ever going to happen since those 33 cards would cost over $6,000, and that's not money I have sitting around. But I feel good about what we did this month. So what are your strategies for managing these crazy alt art prices? Again, my strategies is to try to look for value in other types of cards, gold cards, rainbow rare cards, full art trainer cards. And then, you know, if you do want to bite the bullet and get one or two of these alt arts and grab them before they go up more, at this point, most of them are out of my reach, and I'm just going to either hope to pull them or wait until the prices come down. The other approach is to transition to Scarlet and Violet, and really that's probably the wiser move overall, especially if you have limited collection dollars. Really try to move to the Scarlet and Violet era where you can get packs readily, where you can open stuff, where you can chase singles that don't cost that much. Even the special illustration rares. So that's probably my best advice right now. What are you doing? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching, and we'll talk with you soon.